Welcome to another episode of The Thinking Tofu. I'm your host, The Thinking Tofu. So, I was actually an architecture student and I've studied in London for 6 years. Last year, I came back to Hong Kong as I finished my studies, and I've decided to stay in Hong Kong in the near future because this is my hometown and my parents are here. My closest friends are here, and I thought it would feel like home when I moved back, but it turns out it didn't feel that way. Despite everything being somewhat unchanged, my church, my family, my friends, I just didn't feel like I was part of them anymore. It didn't feel like what it was 6 years ago when I left. I feel like I do not belong. One of the things that led me to start thinking about this feeling of mine is my breakup, which happened like 6-7 months ago. Maybe it was because of the breakup that caused me to lose my sense of belonging, as in a way I identified myself as belonging to my ex at that time. In a way, people who are in relationships feel like they belong to their significant other, right? Or that they feel most comfortable with them, right? I had been with my ex for 6 years, which is basically most of the time when I was in London. And thinking about my life before the breakup happened, I guess my life was quite comfortable and liberating. We basically live in a bubble, and the world is basically mostly just the two of us. I also went to church in London, a church formed by a community of Hong Kong students in London. During summer, I would come back to Hong Kong and meet my friends, meet my family, meet my ex's family. So I tried to I tried to dig deeper into my memory and try to think about, did I actually feel that I belong when I was living life before my breakup? When I think about it, I guess not really. In fact, in most of the situations I was in, I was mainly just feeling kind of out of place. For example, when I was having these family gatherings with my extended family, I always feel like I shouldn't belong in those situations, like there's somewhere else I should be. Same applies to when I was with my ex's family. They always treat me very well and was so hospitable, but I felt like they were more well off financially, and I was always feeling like I do not want to be these people living all these lavish lifestyles. Thinking about it, to be honest, it wasn't that lavish, but I felt like it at that time. Maybe I had a bit of an anti-rich sentiment back then, maybe because of the anti-government protests that was happening in Hong Kong in 2019. And this feeling also applies to when I go to church, when I was greeted with enthusiasm every time, but I feel like I just couldn't click with their enthusiasm. So yeah, I pretty much did not feel like I belong anywhere, except for when I was home alone, or when I was with my ex-girlfriend, just the two of us. So I guess it was because it was when I feel like I was truly myself. Maybe what makes people feel like they are at home or they belong to a certain place is when they feel like they can be their true self, that they can express themselves freely in those situations. But what makes a person or encourages a person to express themselves freely? Another point why I didn't feel like I belong is the feeling that I should belong to somewhere else. Sometimes when I was with my family, I would feel like I should be with my ex. Sometimes when I was with my ex, I feel like I should be with my family. What's more frustrating is that the place that I want to be in is not a physical place, but another moment in time. It can be the past, it can be the future. I always want to travel back to a time when I was without a single worry. Probably when I was in kindergarten, or an amazing trip to Greece in the past. Or I just want to fast forward to a moment in the future where I am happily married, or have kids, or retired, and just travel around the world, something like that. Always dreaming about the past or the future, but never in the present moment. Maybe this is another podcast topic I should talk about, like living in the moment. But for now, we'll stick to this topic of the sense of belonging. So what actually makes a person live in the moment that they are currently in, or want to be in the situation they are in? I think if we want to belong, we need to be at a place where we feel like home. And that means we need to feel like we can be our true self. And if you are an introvert like me, the first step might be to be your true self in front of others. I mean, it's really scary. I mean, I struggle a lot with these. I'm afraid of being judged, and that people might think that I'm awkward, and they might leave, think that I'm boring, and they might leave. And this is constantly reinforced in my mind, as my ex-girlfriend left me after I revealed my true self to her for 6 years, and I revealed all my deepest emotions, and I guess I seemed really weak. So yeah, maybe I have some abandonment issues currently, I don't know. But if we want to feel like we belong, we might have to first feel like we are our true selves when being with ourselves. Then we can at least be more confident in being our true selves in front of others. And only by doing so can we actually get the feeling of being understood by others, which gives the feeling that you belong, and that group of people is your kind of people. And about the point where I don't feel like not being able to live in the moment, in the space and time of that specific situation, well, I think part of it is to try to be grateful for what you currently have. I mean, that's just really cliche, being grateful and all. I mean, everyone just says that, doing exercise of counting 3 grateful things that happened to you today. I mean, I've tried that. I've tried to write them down on Instagram and post it as a Instagram story every day, but I guess it didn't really stick at the end, so I guess I should really try to restart that. But I guess the reason why we should be grateful for what we currently have at this moment, at this point in time, is because your life is now. It's never going to be in the past, nor is it the future that you think you will get. It is of course easier said than done, but I guess this following quote might be of use. So this quote, it's by the character Andy in the show The Office, which is portrayed by Ed Helms. He said, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you actually left them." So yeah, I guess that's a pretty powerful quote, but yeah, let's work harder, and it's not easy, but if we try to do it bit by bit, maybe we will see ourselves improve in this aspect over time. So what do you guys think? Have you guys ever felt like not belonging to any group of people, or you'd rather be somewhere else? Why do you think you feel this way? Comment below, as I would love to know. So yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and just remember, whatever you're going through, you're never alone.